What is up, guys? And welcome to the first episode of the review for the Daredevil series, Daredevil Born Again. Uh, as always, I am joined with my co-host Justin. If he can press a button,
I didn't know I was pressing it. Usually you press it when you introduce me.
it depends. We probably should get that figured out.
Yeah, probably.
Now the way this is gonna work, the first Anyway, I'm sorry, I got distracted by something else.
You good?
The first part of this review is going to be unspoiler. We're going to talk more so based on Justin has a synopsis for the full season. We are going to talk about kind of the lighting angles, the shots, and how it is done, pros and cons that don't go into spoilers of it. And then we'll give you a big warning when we hit into the spoilers, where we'll continue on into the synopsis of each episode, and then talking to the pros and cons of the episode, and then giving our scores at the end. So, yeah, that's the best way to do it.
StreamYard's being weird because it's only streaming your camera right now.
StreamYard? You're right.
Yeah. Maybe? Okay. We're good.
StreamYard is going through updates right now, and there's a whole new layout also. Not that I've messed with anything of it, but this changed legitimately overnight. Like, again, I haven't even messed with anything. I legitimately just made myself bigger and made myself smaller, and I fixed it.
Okay,
then. But yeah, so we're gonna do that. It means that if you are watching for spoiler free, you won't get what our scores are, because our scores we base always on the episodes themselves to get our full show score at the end of the season. Which I need to pull that open. So we're gonna pass it to Justin, who's gonna give us the season synopsis, and I'm gonna pull up my spreadsheet.
So this is the season synopsis coming from Marvel.com. In Marvel Television's Daredevil Born Again, Matt Murdock, played by Charlie Cox, a blind lawyer with heightened abilities, is fighting for justice through his bustling law firm, while former mob boss Wilson Fisk, played by Vincent D'Onofrio, pursues his own political endeavors in New York. When their past identities begin to emerge, both men find themselves on an inevitable collision course.
So, remind me, you've never seen the originals.
I watched the first season.
You watched the first season?
Yes.
Okay, so that being put into retrospect, what is your initial thought of this first two episodes compared to the original season? With keeping spoiler free.
Yeah. It feels like they're just based off the first two episodes alone, there is a like focus for a bigger storyline comparatively, because like yes, there was a bigger storyline in the first season. However, it felt like every episode was its own dedicated story.
Yes.
Whereas these first two episodes are paving for the larger story overall. And yes, they do still have their smaller stories, but it's more focused, I believe, on
I don't know
the greater
if
season story.
I don't know if you could feel it, but I could feel Marvel knew where they want the story to go and what they want to build to. Like this story. Okay, for retrospect, we reviewed Agatha here on the channel, and we reviewed Spider-Man. We did not review Acolyte or really any of the other shows, but I've watched most of them. Justin watched a good chunk of them.
I only watch Marvel at this point, man.
But you watch. I never watched Loki. You watch Loki. Like, so yeah. we have a good little feeling. My personal opinion, this is the most comprehensive Disney has been in a TV show on Disney Plus. Like, they know what they're doing on this one.
Yeah.
Like stuff that they should have had figured out well before this episode of this show. they finally got figured out. What do you think of the cinematography? Just camera work in this.
Oh my god. They do so many wide shots pulled away. And it's just beautiful, and it really lends to the grounded feel of Daredevil,
Yes.
I believe. And try to stay spoiler free here because there's a specific scene that I really want to talk about, and I'm sure you really want to talk about it too.
I'm sure we're probably thinking the same one.
Let's just say that fans of how the original series was shot are going to be very happy with how this is shot.
I will mention this. So in the trailers, and we did react to the trailer here on the channel, so don't mind mentioning this. We got to see a set of scenes where Fisk and Matt are sitting in a diner talking to each other, and those shots are perfect. Like the team sat down and really thought about it. Like, you have some angles that, frankly enough, when the scene starts, I'm like you're shooting from way low upwards, and I'm like, this is a really odd angle. It's not going to work well. And then the full scene comes together when either the zoom out finishes or the characters finally step in frame, and you're like, perfect, beautiful art. This is what the kind of TV shows and such Disney Plus is needed. Like, if they were giving these big movie theatrical budgets to these shows, they should have looked this pretty. Because I don't even think this had like nearly as big of a budget as some of these other shows have had.
I have no idea.
We'll need to try to find that.
And also, I'm gonna get slightly spoilery here, but I'm not gonna touch on any like story details or anything. But when Fisk is reintroduced, they do this thing like they did in the first season up until his like big reveal, where he's just like slightly off camera, and he's slightly off camera, and he isn't fully shown until he speaks. And I thought that was brilliant.
It's so off-settling.
Yes.
Because you're trying to, again, you try to get when you're watching a show, you try to get grounded in it mentally. Like, you're not thinking about it, but you're like, I need to know what's going on, who's in the shot, and where the shot's going. But the way it's shot, since it's either just his hands or just off to the side of him, it's showing what he's looking at. You're always like, okay, I know who this is, but I can't get settled. I'm off. I'm out of balance.
Oh, and they do this perfectly. I took a filming class, as George knows. They do this so well with, it's either in the first episode or the second episode. It's his introductory shot for that episode where he's eating breakfast. Mm-hmm. And the establishing shot is of the table, but it's not a straight down 90 degree. It's like 120, maybe even just 100. So it looks like it's straight down, but it's just off. And it is immaculate. It's so perfect.
I mean, on top of that, you've got I forget what the silverware is. You have one silverware on the left side, and then you have like 4 or 5 on the other. So the whole scene is out of balance, and you're just like, why? But it's because it's character development that you don't understand until later, and that gets spoilerly, so we're not going to touch into that. Now, I'm going to pull up a little problem I had, and this is in episode 1 without me, again, touching into any piece of it. The CGI is a little rough in the first episode.
Yeah.
It's a little rough. And I think it's why the Netflix series really never tried to go into CGI. They used a lot more scenes. That being said, episode 2, they just move away from it altogether, and we're fine. I don't know if those were just kind of more quicker shots. I'm curious, since we did read about the reshoots yesterday. I'm curious if those were added in or before the reshoots. Because for how well some of these other shots are all being done and the story changes that feel like happened in it, I'm curious if this was pre-redo.
Yeah.
Because everything else feels so grounded in reality. Like, they do some beautiful just shots just to go ahead and, establish you're in New York, and it feels like you're just watching like a filmographer just walking around town getting some shots of New York.
They
Like
do a
these
lot of good
shots feel
establishing shots,
real,
yeah.
but they feel necessary.
Yes.
Like there are times where we've seen establishing shots, and I'm just like, wow. Oh, it was the Amazing Spider-Man. We gave it, or My Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man. We gave it a pretty strong review. We both do recommend it. However, I think it was the last episode or second to last episode. There was so much time spent on establishing shots that it felt like it was just filling it out. These shots don't feel like they're filling out the episode. These feel like they're purposely put in there and they're necessary to help make you feel more grounded in the show. And the show is exactly going on what they want.
Yeah.
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 Lighting's pretty good. There are some
Pretty
scenes
good.
that I feel are a little bit too dark
In that first episode, yeah.
in that first episode.
The
But
opening, yes. I agree, yeah.
But there are other parts, which again makes me wonder how much of that first episode was reshot or readjusted.
We'll get back into it because I have notes that are spoilerly.
Yeah.
Spoiler.
But like we have shots, and it more so comes up in episode 2 that the lighting is beautiful around the world.
Yeah.
Or makes certain characters feel bigger than life themselves, which is fantastic.
Yep.
Recommendation for the show. Would you recommend it at this point?
If you have seen at least the first season of the Netflix series, yes. Because as of right now, I believe that's all you need to watch.
Okay, let me ask this way. If you've never watched it before, if you never watched Daredevil before, do you recommend it?
I think you can watch it without seeing anything. You're just not going to have or understand character beats and strong emotional connection to it.
I would incredibly agree with that statement. Like, I think this show stands as its own, which is good. It needed to be able to stand on its own because of how long it's been.
Yeah.
But there's enough in there that if you, it stands on its own, so anybody can jump in and watch it as long as you're okay with more of a actiony. It is a mature rated show. But if you've watched it, again, as Justin put it, at least season 1,
I think you'll be fine.
There's so much more in this that makes it so much more gratifying.
Yeah, because no, oh wait.
Yeah. I'm sure you saw my initial response in the Discord last night. Like, that gets into very much spoilerly. Writing.
That's all right. Yeah.
I think it's
I
solid.
like. Yeah, their dialogue writing's good.
The dialogue writing's good, and like the show doesn't feel like it's going too slow or fast. Like it's a 2 hours. The first night was 2 hours of watching. I wanted more.
Yeah, so did I.
Like I got to the end, and it did not feel like I had been sitting there for 2 hours watching a show, and it was fantastic. That's exactly what. If I'm going to turn off my brain, sit down, and just enjoy a show, that's what I want. I want it just to go flying by, and me to be at the end of it, be just hungry for another episode. So I don't know if there's much more at this point we can discuss without going spoilerly. So, if you're only going to go ahead and watch this part of the episode, and you're going to go watch it yourself, come back to this and let us know in the comments, because I'm curious what your thoughts are. And then you can watch the second half of this and hear what our thoughts are. Because I think the second section is going to be a lot longer because there's more to discuss with us being in Spoilerland.
Yeah.
If you don't mind spoilers, just continue watching because we're going to start that right now.
All right.
Go for the synopsis for episode 1.
Episode 1 synopsis. We open with Matt Foggy and Karen leaving their office, Nelson Murdoch and Paige, And Foggy is talking about how he feels that they have evolved. They meet Kirsten McDuffie and other friends at Josie's to celebrate Cherry's retirement. I didn't know who these people were. I just assumed they were cops, and I feel like I had a good assumption there. Were they in the Netflix series?
Yes.
Okay.
Sherry is, of course, Foggy and Paige are.
Yeah.
I think the lawyer that Foggy is flirting with, I think she is new to the season. I don't remember her before.
Okay.
Because it just feels like it feels like this is an establishing moment for her at the beginning of it. I don't feel like I've seen her before. I could be wrong. It's been a long time since I watched the show.
Yeah, because they list the full name, I assume it's a new character.
I'm assuming it is.
Karen asks Matt to leave the bar with her, but he can't because of the friends code. I assume they dated in season 3 because that was adapting Born Again.
I believe so.
Okay.
I believe they dated, then they kind of break up, but it's clear that they're still strong relations at the start of this episode.
Yeah. Kirsten asks Foggy why he left a real firm to be in a storefront. The White Tiger debuts in the MCU with the character being seen in a bodega robbery on TV in the background. Foggy's client is in danger, so Matt soups up as Daredevil to save him. He goes and he zips off. And then Bullseye comes out of the shadows with his glove having the villain's classic design from the comics. And Bullseye only wanted to find out where Foggy was, and without Daredevil there, so he arrives at Josie's and shoots Foggy. Daredevil comes swinging in and tackles Bullseye just before he shoots Karen. And when that begins is when we have a 5, almost 7 minute, one take shot. There are still takes, but it's an all in one shot scene.
Yeah. So,
and oh my God.
Okay, hold on. Finish the synopsis before we go back and break it down.
Okay.
Because I was going to be stuck talking about this for a while.
Foggy bleeds on the ground while Daredevil and Bullseye have a major fight inside Josie's. Foggy dies, and as Matt starts crying, Bullseye smiles before he's thrown off the roof. Sherry, who is retiring, sees Matt crying after he takes off his mask. A heavily injured Bullseye wakes up on the ground and runs away. Matt throws his mask away and decides to stop being Daredevil. And then we have a 1-year time skip.
Yep.
And Matt is shown sipping coffee a year later, and it is clear he is rich now by how many suits he owns, I suppose.
He's in a much nicer apartment than he was before, and the office that they're working out of now is much nicer.
Yeah. Vanessa Fisk leads a meeting with the 5 families before Kingpin arrives and everybody leaves. Fisk tells his wife that he cannot have anything illegal tied to him or in his name at the moment. And Matt enters his new law firm, Murdoch and McDuffie, and it is revealed that he has not heard from Karen in some time. Matt testifies against Bullseye at the hearing over Foggy's murder. Bullseye is sentenced to 11 life sentences to be served consecutively. Karen talks about how she is living in San Francisco, and Matt listens to Fisk talking on the TV, where he declares his candidacy for mayor of New York, which was teased at the end of Echo. So timeline-wise, this takes place after Echo. Obviously. That's all we really have.
Yeah.
Let's see. Matt meets Heather Glenn for a coffee after Kirsten sets them up on a date they did not know about. So Kirsten told her that he needed therapy, and she told Matt that it was a new client.
Correct.
Matt asks Fisk to talk at a diner where Kingpin says he had nothing to do with Foggy's death. He mentions some promise that I assume was in like the final season of the Netflix episode.
Yeah, I'm
Or the
trying to remember what the
Netflix
promise
season.
was.
Because he specifically mentions that he did not break their promise.
Yeah, because I think it was like he promised that he would stop his stop crime, or he wouldn't
He
mess
wouldn't
with him
like
or
mess with
Foggy or
them,
something
yeah.
like that.
Yeah. They make threats in case the other steps out of line. And then Matt and Heather have a dinner date. And Fisk is elected mayor. Fisk tells Vanessa he knows about Adam. And then people celebrate Fisk's win on the streets. And that is the end of episode 1.
You're not saying Vanessa correctly.
Okay.
It's supposed to be Vanessa.
Yeah, something like that.
It's always so low and growly. I love it. Okay, first things first. I've always loved the actor who plays Fisk. I'm glad that they always keep him around because he is a big cartoon character. He fits a cartoon villain fantastically. I'm sorry, I had to throw that in there.
Yeah.
But no, so going back to the beginning of it. So, first off, it's cool that we got to see Bullseye like right away. Like this is the first time we've gotten to see him in a live action form, and his looks fantastic.
Yeah, it's pretty good.
Does really good. But again, Daredevil always was a show really good about keeping comic accurate looks to their characters.
For the most part, yeah.
For the most part. That fight scene.
Oh my god.
That fight scene is fantastic. There's so much going on, it's hard to see what's all going on, which is how I feel that scene should have been. Now, this is this whole section is where the CGI does not look good, and it's when Daredevil.
That's when they get on the roof, right?
Well, it's like when he first comes flying over to the one house, and he like lands, and his body looks like rubber because it's clear. It's a full CGI model, and it doesn't work. This is my gripe with this episode. Legitimately, I have to touch on this because this is my problem with the episode. It's just the CGI.
Yeah.
Legitimately, whenever he's using his nunchucks as, you know, a whip, the spider whip, it doesn't look good. Am I wrong? Am I being too critical?
No, I don't think so. I think it looked a little wonky.
It's very wonky. It does not work. I get that they're trying to pull in that movement that Daredevil does get because it helps speed him up as a character. But it's one of those things. Cartoon physics don't always work in a live action. It's why I still don't think Reed in the Fantastic Four is going to look good because cartoon physics never look good in live action. It's going to be offsetting. But if that's my only gripe, that shows you how good this whole episode is. Because that's only in the first 10 minutes.
Yeah.
We got 50 minutes more of content in this thing.
Yeah.
40-ish. Matt legitimately is covered in knives sticking out of him at the end of this fight.
Yeah.
Like, it is crazy. And then so, going back to our Discord comment, as soon as Froggy gets shot, I immediately shot out no in our Discord group because I was like, what in the world? You can't kill Foggy. It's Foggy. But it does such good character setup for Matt. And then, like, my jaw dropped watching him push
Bullseye.
Thank you. Off the roof.
Yeah.
I was like, what is going on? Like, this is a fantastic start episode. Besides the wonkiness again of the CGI, this is a fantastic start episode. I've been embellishing for a bit too much on this section.
I mean, what else is there to talk about? Like, I liked how in his testification against Bullseye, he brings up how he has been in that courtroom for years, just on the other side of the stand, and he knows that justice will be served, but it won't at the same time because Foggy is still dead. I thought that line went hard.
Dude, his testimony is so heartfelt. The performance is perfect. And legitimately I sat there and I was just like, this is such a true feeling that a victim's family would be going through.
Yeah.
That yes, the person that did the evil deed is going to be punished, but it doesn't make it right. It doesn't fix anything, and it's never enough of a punishment because my family member, my friend, is gone.
Yeah.
And it's so heartbreaking of a scene.
Yeah. So what's your score?
Well, what about the rest of the episode? That's only the first.
What do you mean? What else is there to talk about? We run over the synopsis. We don't gotta go that in deep over everything else.
What do you think of the filmography shot of when Fisk wins, of Fisk on the rooftop looking over the city and then having that low angle up on him looking larger than life with the lighting behind him?
It was good.
Like that shot, I was like, beautiful. I've got mine on the computer. I don't like to say mine first. I don't ever want to impact you. I knew my scores last night as soon as I watched it.
I'm gonna go with a 4.5, honestly.
4.5.
Yeah.
So you're actually higher than me.
Okay. The CGI was that bad? That's crazy.
It was wonky enough that I took away a point. I'm at a 4.
Okay.
This episode is still very extremely solid, but it being that is in the first 10 minutes, we should have reviewed it, and somebody should have been able to call out that, hey, we need to go back and try to fix the CGI. Who knows? Maybe they did. If so, that doesn't help it. But I did pull a point for that. The rest of this episode, the dialogues, the acting, the performances, lighting, everything else was perfect. But I did pull a point for that because that is how I would have pulled a point in other shows also. Fair is fair. I can't let I love Daredevil. I love the Daredevil shows. I can't let that impact this. That is how all critically I would be. So we'll step into so that gives us on episode 1 an 8.5 out of 10. That's solid for a first episode with us. Go for those synopses too.
Kingpin addresses the city during New Year's and says it does not need vigilantes, and he mentions the Punisher, Spider-Man, and Daredevil, though not by name.
Yeah.
This is instantly a 10 out of 10 show. Spider-Man was mentioned. I have no further comments. Hector Elia stops two guys. I'm saying his name wrong. Elia.
I think it's Elia.
Stops two guys from beating another man, with one of the aggressors involuntarily falling in front of a train. They are revealed to be undercover cops, and Hector is taken to prison. Matt hears cops beating Hector and trying to coerce him to sign a confession. Fisk leaves his car. Oh yeah. Fisk is later stuck in traffic or something on a highway, and he gets out of the car to see what the commotion is. And it's some construction workers working on the road, and they're like, "Well, we can't start anything until we have the permits." And he goes, "Consider it done. Just do it. You have the equipment. You have the men. I am the mayor. Do what I say." Basically.
Yeah.
Daniel arranges Fisk an interview with BB Urich. A mysterious character is sitting for Heather's talk about her new book and asks if she is taking new clients. Sherry finds Hector's white tiger costume after Matt asks him to search his home. Fisk threatens police commissioner to help him by using a photo of his secret child. Matt motions to suppress the fact that Hector is the white tiger from the court, and then Wilson and Vanessa show up for confidential couples therapy with Heather, which Matt does not know about. Matt gets his star witness out just before corrupt cops arrive to murder him, then proceeds to talk back against the cops, is beaten up, and brutally defeats them in a fight after a gun is pulled. And one of the cops is shown with a Punisher tattoo on his wrist. Looks like we're getting a little cult of Punisher here.
Yeah. I mean, we knew the Punisher was going to be in the show again from one of the trailers. So first off, did you recognize that our new mysterious character, who we don't have any clue of who they are, who meets with asking about if she's still accepting clients, that he's from Wednesday?
No, I didn't watch Wednesday.
I thought you watched Wednesday.
No.
I recommend it. A highly good show. But I saw him like, hey, I recognize you. He did great in that show, so I'm curious. He's a very odd character, though.
I think it's going to be a new, what's his name? The one from season 1 that dies. Wesley? His Fisk's assistant? Isn't that who it is?
Yeah, no, I don't think it's going to be that.
No? Okay.
I don't know who he's going to be. It's such an awkward portrayal of a character. I'm wondering if it's one of Daredevil's villains, actually.
I have no idea. It might just be some throwaway.
It might just be a throwaway. I do need to go back and look. For whatever reason, I'm getting a feeling he's one of the villains Daredevil has.
I hope he's Stiltman.
What?
I hope he's Stiltman. Or Big Wheel. Big Wheel be awesome, dude. If Big Wheel comes to the MCU before Venom, I think we won.
What? How does that work?
Because it's Big Wheel. Anyways, something that isn't mentioned in the synopsis is one of Fisk's. Is it a cabinet? Would it be called a cabinet member or like an assistant?
Technically, I would say yes, still cabinet member. It's just he's the mayor. He's not a president, but yeah, I would still call it his cabinet members.
Is like a Zoomer, and he uses like Zoomer lingo, and I thought that was hilarious. I think
dying.
I think it's so funny because he's just like this 50-year-old like huge dude that knows nothing but crime, and he's like, I don't know what this man is saying, and then his assistant goes, well, maybe he would be a good asset to reach the younger populace, and he just stops and he sits there for like 10 seconds and it's silent, and he goes, I think that is a good idea.
He's such an awkward character. It's so funny listening to him trying to talk, and it's legitimately this character is legitimately just a like 28, 30, a 20, 25-year-old who is straightforward, just a fanboy of Fisk.
He's just like, excuse my language, but dicking around. Just around Fisk, and he just hires him.
Well, like, the only reason he actually becomes part of the campaign initially is just because on his own, he went out of his way to go get 2,000 signatures for Fisk to be put on the ballot. Like,
yeah.
This kid has no need to be here besides just, I love you. Let me work for you. Like, what is going on? Okay. I'm going to call the subplot because I don't think it's going to be our main plot, but what do you think of the subplot involving the crooked cops?
I don't think that's a subplot. I think that was, like, resolved here.
No, because
remember, or are you saying, like, the Punisher cult?
No, the crooked cops, remember, is still going on because the trial still hasn't happened.
Oh, you're right.
And I don't want to call it the main plot because I don't think it's going to be. I think our main plot's still going to be revolving around Fisk and Matt.
Yeah.
But I think this is going to be our subplot to get the Punisher involved in the world also.
Yeah.
Is where I think this is leading. I thought it was an interesting idea because it does lean on, like, you know, them always talking about how cops, you know, take care of their own, and the New York cops will do anything to take care of their own kind of situation, and immediately, legitimately, they've pretty much found this guy guilty just because a cop is saying that he murdered his partner
Yeah.
out of cold blood. Like, I was like, this is a really dark start for a new show, especially for Disney.
Yeah.
I think it's a solid B plot, though.
Yeah.
I'm invested in this B plot. Like, I'm invested in the whole story, but this B plot is so interesting of what all is going on that I want to know more about this. I want to watch the court side of this. Like, it is a Daredevil show that is an action-based show, and I want to go see them sit down in the courtroom and talk. Like, what do you think of the fight with the Colts, the Punisher, and such?
Bro had like no right, like faking all of that towards them just to like ruin their night and almost kill them. I'd argue. Bro had no right.
To like defend himself?
How much? I lagged.
To like defend himself, or
No, just like did he like throw one out a window?
no?
Or
No,
am I
they're both in
tripping?
the room.
I'm tripping. Okay.
No, so it starts off that they burst in. Well, they yell their PD, so he opens the door, and then they come bursting in, and these cops know that this is the lawyer that's fighting against them. Then they, pull a gun to his head, and he legitimately bashes one of their faces into a refrigerator door like 6 times. Like,
Yeah.
I thought this was a great fight scene, and you can see the. I feel he does a good job showing like the emotional like turmoil within him. Also, like that big screech at the end.
Yeah.
Daredevil Born Again is a good show. In fact, I'm going to go as far as to say so far it's a great show in my opinion. This is very much a show that I am highly recommending. I've got to get my score on the computer. What is your score for episode 2?
I'm gonna be honest. I was falling asleep when I was watching it because I watched it at like 1 a.m. And when it was slower, I was on my phone, so I don't remember a whole lot. I'm gonna rewatch it right now, honestly. For now, I might have to give a retraction, but for now, I'm gonna go with a 3.5.
Oh, how dare you? That's insulting. This episode's great. This episode's a 4.5 for me.
Wow.
This we lost the wonkiness of the CGI of episode 1, and every scene of this shot felt purposeful. Every scene feels like it's set up right, and like they're still off balance scenes, but you can tell that they're purposely off balance. Like this is like a perfect episode. I don't want to give it a 5 because, like every other show, I'm always hesitant in the first like week or so. Because
Well, it doesn't matter because you're ranking the episode, not the show.
Well, no, but
So you should give it a 5 if you believe it's a perfect episode.
True. I don't know. 4.5 is where I'm mentally sitting at.
Okay.
Like there was episodes during the Friendly Neighborhood Spider-Man that I was like, this is a 5. I don't. This didn't have enough to bring me into that, but like the episode is perfect. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Like this is definitely a show I highly recommend and that I'm addicted to. Like I am excited for Tuesday to come around for me to sit down, grab some popcorn, and enjoy just good television. Which is really weird to say because, frankly enough, with Disney Plus, besides WandaVision, I haven't had like really good television.
Yeah.
So, our average 8.25 off week 1. That's solid. That is extremely solid of a score. Let's go. I saw some of the numbers updated last night. Well, this morning. So let's just go take a look. I know. I'm sorry. Would you just go away? You never like Chrome. Fine. Where's Safari? Safari. Daredevil, Born Again. Average tomato meter, 82%.
Okay.
Average popcorn meter, 92%. Again, I don't know how it works out, but between the two of us, we seem to always balance out to about what the critic score is. What any like flaws with the show so far, in your opinion?
No, I would not say so.
I would completely agree. Again, as long as either we don't do a lot of CGI or the CGI gets better, I think the show is perfect. I think this is. I hope this is going to be a winner for Disney. I hope people will actually come back and watch it. Unfortunately, Disney has burnt a lot of bridges with people because of bad shows. I thought I heard Discord.
Yeah, you did. What is the release schedule?
I believe it's going to be. I believe for going forward, it's one a week.
Yeah, I know it's one a week. Is the finale a double or is it a single episode?
Daredevil release schedule.
I'm trying to find the image that they post.
Okay, so episode 1 and 2 is March 4th, 3 is 11th, 4 is the 18th, 5 and 6 is March 25th, 7, 8, and 9. So, no, the finale is not a double episode. It's just on March 25th, there will be a double episode.
How strange.
I'm guessing it means that realistically, the story they're trying to tell in that episode is a 2-hour length story, so they're releasing them together.
Yeah. That's weird, yeah.
It is a weird drop.
What's next? Thunderbolts? When does the last episode come out?
April 15th is the last episode. 15th?
So that's a month and a half for Thunderbolts marketing. Okay. Yeah. Oh no, that's a month for Thunderbolts marketing.
Yeah. No, that is weird. Why about
That's probably why. But like why would they choose 5 and 6 over 8 and 9? That's my question.
Again, the only thing I can think of is there must be enough of 5 and 6 that's pretty much one continuous story.
Yeah.
I don't know. I guess we'll find out. And
is that mid-season?
Yeah.
That might be why.
But still, it's kind of weird that it's start of season, mid-season, and that's it for the double episode build-up.
Yeah. Huh. Okay.
Because, yeah, so, yeah, it's the Tuesday before I go to Mexico.
Yeah.
How weird. Overall, great show.
Yeah, it's good.
Disney, well done. Don't get your hands too involved. Let the writers and showrunners take care of it because they know what they're doing. Anything else?
Yeah. No. I think we covered it.
I think we covered it. So if you made this part of the video, be sure to like and subscribe. Be sure to come back tomorrow at 7-ish, 6:30-ish. I should be live playing some Kingdom Hearts. Again, we're continuing on where we last left off. So we have the boss fight for the first time, or first visit to Rapunzel, and then we'll continue on from there. We'll probably play for, I don't know, 3 hours tomorrow night. Then Friday, I should be live again, hanging out with the guys. We'll be playing something, maybe Fortnite, who knows. And I don't think we're doing anything this weekend, so I'll probably be live this weekend too. But we'll know more of that tomorrow and Friday. Then, of course, every Tuesday at 6 p.m. right here on the channel, we do the Pop Culture Jungle. Be sure to join in on that, join in the conversation, and criticize whatever we're criticizing. Because it's always fun. To me, it's more fun when we have the engagement and we're talking between each other. Because this is what Jamie and I talked about. The way these shows work is if you just have an open conversation.
Yeah.
It's like, I know you don't watch it. I only have watched a couple episodes. But it's like the Joe Rogan podcast. The reason that works so well is it's just guys at a table talking. It's just having the open conversation. That's why when Jamie's here, it works so well because Jamie and I always bounce so well off each other to continue conversation. So you ever want to join the conversation? We're not monetized, so we don't go ahead and charge for chats and such. Just drop it right there in the chats. We will be charged. We will be monetized eventually, and super chats will take a priority, but we'll get over that whenever we get to that point. Every chat's still important, in my opinion. Until I get to a point where I cannot keep up reading, we'll keep up reading. We'll talk to you. That sound good? Makes sense? Yep. But yeah. I don't know much more to say. We will be back again next Wednesday. We will not review Deadpool on Daredevil on Tuesdays. We'll review them on Wednesdays, just so that gives us time to sit down and watch it and dissect the episode. Hopefully not at 1 a.m, so we can actually pay attention to it.
Yeah.
When he could have watched it today while he was at home.
Monster Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
I had to go get ice cream too.
Oh, I'm sorry.
Yeah. I didn't have time today, George.
Apparently. But that will be Tuesday. That'll be Wednesday. Every Tuesday, we're here for Pop Culture Jungle. And there's streams randomly, whatever. Also, new videos every day, well, for the most part. I missed 2 videos this last week. That was my bad. I know. I ran out of content. But there will be videos every day, as long as we can, at 8 a.m. And maybe this weekend I'll do a trip down to Disney. So we may have a vlog, not a vlog coming up with that, but we will have a vlog coming up at the end of the month from my cruise down to San Diego, or maybe multiple vlogs. Who knows? We'll find out based on the content I film. And we have the review of Galaxy Night, or whatever it is at Star Wars Land. We're doing that on the day I get back.
Oh, I have to request that off.
Seasons of the Force. No. Yes.
Seasons of the Force.
Yeah. We should have that video going up on, if I can time it all right, that following that Tuesday. So keep an eye out for that. But until next time. See you later.
Bye. Pressing